The thing I regret most in my life was opening that pink package during the all-staff meeting. The leopard print handcuffs rolled right into the center of the camera shot. The sweet voice message card echoed throughout the entire company. Baby, no. 10. Don't forget last night's punishment. I instantly recognized that voice as Liu Ryan's. Now the whole company knows that we're mortal enemies at each other's throats. But neither of us remembers this thing. That day it was supposed to just be the monthly all hands. The quarterly KPIs were up on the projector. I was slacking off in the third row. The admin assistant came in with an armful of packages and started handing them out. She handed me a pink one, a box tied up with a bow. First thing that popped into my head was, which vendor has such good taste? The packaging looked just like a Valentine's Day gift box. Second thought, the box felt a little light. There was something hard rolling around inside. And the third? Right there in front of 60+ people, including 2 directors and the head of HR, I opened it. The leopard print handcuffs popped out, clattering dead center on the table, then rolled right under the projection screen. With the light on them, the reflection practically blinded me. And then came the sound. The moment that sound card was unsealed, it started blasting automatically, so sweet it could make you cry. Baby, no. 10. Don't forget last night's punishment. The meeting room went so quiet you could hear the projector fan spinning. That baby, that drawn-out punishment. I could recognize them with my eyes closed. It was Liu Ryan from Marketing, Section 2, the same Liu Ryan who stole my proposal 2 years ago, and who's been stealing hot water in the break room ever since. We're considered the company's top 10 infamous office rival, CP. Always at the top of the gossip charts, Liu Ryan. I whipped my head back to look at him. He was way in the last row, face gone totally white, even paler than mine. His hand was squeezing his mug so tight, his knuckles were greenish. We locked eyes, and in that moment, I could see in his eyes the exact same 3 words I was thinking. It wasn't me. The room exploded. Chen Zi was the first who couldn't hold it in. He spit his coffee out all over his keyboard with a loud splat. The admin girl clapped her hand over her mouth and backed away. My buddy Zhang Dao even started leading applause, looking all proud, like he was part of it. Unbelievable. The admin team nominated me for Best Surprise Gift Box this year. Director, he knocked on the table, dumbfounded. Trying so hard not to laugh, his face turned red. Liu Ryan, no. 10. Once the meeting ended, everyone else could leave, just us 2 staying behind. Liu Ryan and I stood up almost at the same time and started talking simultaneously. Said the same thing in unison. Perfectly synchronized. I don't remember this. We both froze after we said it. Glared at each other. His look meant, stop copying what I say. Wang Teng walked past me and patted me on the shoulder, slow as ever, with a meaningful smile. Usually you seem like such a straight-laced guy. Didn't expect he leaned in and lowered his voice, but just loud enough for people nearby to hear. Aren't you 2 supposed to be sworn enemies? Looks like it's not just for show. All I wanted right then was to crawl into a hole. Didn't have time to deal with him. Looking back now, Wang Teng's not just for show line was the very first hint in this whole saga. Too bad I was too clueless to get it then. After everyone left, the awkwardness was thick enough to cut with a knife. Director, he wrapped those handcuffs in a tissue, picked them up like they were a dead rat and put them in front of us. I don't care what your private relationship is. We don't have one. We answered at the same time again. Director, he actually choked on our sink for a second, with a hand on his forehead. Anyway, this thing blowing up at the staff meeting is really bad for the company. You have 3 days to find out who did this and give the company an explanation. If you can't, both of you get a demerit for disrupting workplace order. The word demerit made both of us drop our faces in an instant. There's only 1 promotion slot in the company this year. I was competing for it with Wang Teng from Marketing. 1 demerit and I could kiss that spot goodbye. Walking out of the meeting room, Liu Ryan leaned against the wall and took a deep breath, then downed his cold coffee in 1 shot, like he was drinking a final toast before a fight. No. 10 turned around, with eyes as cold as the conference room AC. Let me be clear. I don't really know you, and I don't want to. But now we're stuck together, which I don't want either. I stuffed my hands in my pockets. It really wasn't me. I can't even tell if leopard spots are horizontal or vertical. Shut up. He pulled out his phone. Let's set up a temporary team. We have one goal. Catch the jerk who pulled this prank. Until we figure this out, let's just tolerate each other. Afterwards, he paused. We never have to talk again. Deal. We clinked our cups. Sworn enemies united. He splashed coffee all over my hand. And that's how the Liu Ryan Ni Revenge Alliance came to be from start to finish. As for why we're sworn enemies, that goes back 2 years. Right after I joined the company, my first solo project, I stayed up 3 nights to finish it. Thought I nailed it, ready for my big debut. But on the day of the proposal review, my name had disappeared from the signature, replaced by Liu Ryan's. Not a word to me in front of everyone. I was furious. A newcomer, my first proposal, and then someone way more senior from my department just blatantly grabbed the credit. From that day on, I decided Liu Ryan would do anything to get ahead, climbing over newbies like me. And him? He looked at me like I was always a nuisance. Never a kind word or a friendly look. We even fought over hot water in the break room. If I was filling up, he'd cut in line. When he was, I'd crank the faucet to max. The whole company watched us like a sitcom. And we were fine treating each other like thin air. I thought that's how it'd be forever between us. One stealing proposals, the other stealing hot water. 2 worlds that never intersect. Never talking again. Until those handcuffs showed up. First step in solving this case, Liu Ryan said we had to start with motive. Who wants to see us as a joke the most? Wang Tang, I blurted out. Why him? He was fighting me for the promotion spot. I want to take him out. Liu Ryan raised an eyebrow. For once didn't argue with me. Logical. But motive's not enough. We need proof. We checked footage from the break room and office area, matching frame by frame against the timeline from that day. Spent 2 hours on it, till we were nearly blind. And still found nothing. Packages all get received by admin. Gotta check the shipping logs. The logistics system said the sender's name was marked confidential, but the order platform could still track the user account. Liu Ryan said, he has a friend who works in customer service, who can help check the backend. So why are you telling me this? I'll go look into another lead. I hesitated about what lead. I wasn't planning to bring it up, but since things have already gotten this far, it's about that project 2 years ago. I've always thought you were shady in your work. I want to see if this is a habit. What if the handcuffs were also your plot against me? All planned and staged by yourself. Liu Ryan stared at me for 3 seconds. That complicated look made me feel uneasy. Then he gave a cold laugh. Suit yourself, so I actually went and dug through all the emails from that old project, corresponding review records and archived files. I was trying to find proof of his unscrupulous tactics. But I found an email I'd never seen before. It was the night before the review meeting. Director, he sent this to Liu Ryan. I still remember it to this day. Zhang Liu, number 10. This proposal. There's a major error in the core data model on page 3. If we submit it like this, the project will have serious problems. The person who signs it will take the blame. Just got regularized and already have to take a hit. That's basically it for them. It's up to you. Next is Liu Ryan's reply. Sent at 2:40 a.m. Director, I should sign for this, right? To everyone else, just say I fought to take on this project. I'll recalculate all the data overnight. I can take the disciplinary warning tomorrow. Let me take the fall for the newcomer. He can't handle it. I stared at that email for a long time. Didn't time it, not even sure how long, but long enough that the screen went to sleep by itself. Turns out he didn't steal my project back then. He took the fall from me for a mistake I didn't even know about. My proposal really did have a fatal flaw. If it got submitted, I'd be the one punished. He took the credit so he could take the blame and let everyone think he stole my project. Stayed up all night recalculating my data for me. I hated him for 2 years. The thing I held a grudge against him for 2 years was actually him taking the hit for me. I sat at my desk for ages without moving. The cup of water by my hand went cold and I didn't drink it. The only thought left in my mind was, number 10 is really something. He took the bullet for me. And the first held a grudge for 2 years in return. Even fought him for hot water for 2 years. I wanted to go find him, but didn't know what to say. Thank you for taking the fall for me 2 years ago. If I say that, what do those 2 years of dirty looks even mean? In the end, I could only squeeze out a message on WeChat. About that proposal, I saw the email. He replied instantly with just 2 words. Why didn't you tell me back then? Would you really stop being angry if I did? He sent again. And what's it got to do with you? I stared at those words. For some reason, my ears felt a little hot. Crap, I thought. This investigation has gone off track. Second line of suspicion. I set my sights on Chen Zi. Chen Zi from marketing department. 2. The whole company's publicly recognized Liu Ryan fanboy. He's been pursuing him for half a year. Puts bubble tea on his desk every day. I figured since he cares so much about Liu Ryan, what if he's jealous? And using this sneaky trick to get at us. I called him out to the stairwell. Cut right to the chase. Chen Zi, were you the one who put those handcuffs on? Chen Zi was totally dumbfounded. Bro, don't frame me. I don't even know how to fill out an address on a shipping label. Last time I sent flowers to Sister Liu. I messed it up 3 times. Then why do you care so much about Liu Ryan? I interrogated him like a suspect. It's admiration. Pure admiration. Chen Zi swore, raising his hand. It's like looking at a fierce statue. You just wouldn't get it, bro. Sister Liu is someone to be admired from afar, not to mess with. And I've already been rejected. For some reason, rejection fired me up. How did he reject you? Chen Zi sighed. Then the gossip side of me took over. He told me he already likes someone else. I asked who. He wouldn't say, just describe them. Said the person he likes has a really nasty temper. Super stubborn and bullheaded. Chen Zi scratched his head. And always fights him for hot water. The voice-activated light in the stairwell went out. In the dark, I could literally feel my ears getting red. Hotter by the second. Bad temper, stubborn. Fighting for hot water, every trait sounded like me. But I quickly tried to convince myself. No way, there are lots of grumpy people at work. Wang Tang is grumpy too. I'm not the only stubborn one. But fighting for hot water. Pretty sure it's just me and him. Bro, why's your face all red? Chen Zi poked me. The light wasn't even back on yet. You're blushing like crazy. It's the heat, I said. Draft in the stairwell. It's not hot, shut up. I ran off in embarrassment. All the way back. Those words from Chen Zi kept replaying in my head. Told myself, number 10. Stay calm, it's just a coincidence. Purely a coincidence. Plenty of grumpy people here. Plenty stubborn too. But I'm really the only one who fights for hot water. I kept telling myself that the whole way, but by the time I got to my desk, I still wasn't convinced. With Chen Zi ruled out, we shifted our suspicions to Director He. After all, that disciplinary issue back then, Director He knew about it. Liu Ryan said, what if he's holding some grudge from years ago, carrying out a personal vendetta? But when we checked, the night the order was placed half a month ago, Director, he wasn't even in the company, wasn't even in the city. Proof was in his own social media photo grid. Location tagged at a team building site 200 kilometers away. Captioned, far from work. Feeling refreshed. Don't bother me. I counted back from the day the order was placed. He stayed at that base for 3 days straight. Never came back even once. We took his post as evidence to confront him. He was at his desk answering emails. After hearing why we were there, he nearly threw his mouse. What grudge would I have with you? I can't even remember which of you is taller. Always goofing off at work. Just running around playing detective? CSR, huh? Then about that email from back then. I just started to speak. What about that email? Director, he glared at me. I just felt sorry for you as a newbie. Gave Zhao Liu a way to save you. So he could help you out. And you went and held a grudge against him for 2 years. Listen to me, number 10. You're not cut out to solve mysteries. Liu Ryan chipped in slowly from the side. You can shop online from anywhere. Even 200 kilometers away, you can still click order. Director K, you are something else. You can't even remember which of us is taller. Yet you're still dwelling on that trivial matter from 2 years ago. Going to all this trouble to set a trap for us? The motive doesn't hold up. Fine, since the motive collapsed, he's also ruled out. When we walked out, Liu Ryan was holding back a laugh. His usual cold expression finally softened a bit. The Shah, right? He whispered, mimicking her. Director I couldn't keep a straight face either. He even said my brain couldn't solve a case. He's right. Can you stop kicking me while I'm down? The two of us walked back side by side. The hallway was empty. The atmosphere was strangely unlike that of arch rivals. I stole a glance at him. The curve of his profile in the light filtering through the window looked unrealistically soft. I took another peek. On the third glance, I got caught. What are you looking at? You have dust on your face. I made it up, and he reached up to wipe it away. He didn't find anything. He glared at me, and I quickly turned my head away. I turned it fast. Very fast, suspiciously fast. The case was stuck. My friend in customer service hadn't checked the back end yet. Only 1 day left of the 3-day deadline. That day, we worked overtime late into the night. We were the only two left in the entire marketing department, staring at the dense timelines on the computer screen, completely spaced out. Between the marketing department's cubicles and the pantry, there was only a full-length glass door. During the day, people are constantly coming and going, so no one would notice anything. But late at night, it became crystal clear. From the pantry side, through the glass, our workstations could be seen perfectly. I was staring at the surveillance footage for the nth time, when I suddenly heard a thud next to me. Liu Ryan had collapsed onto the desk. I jumped out of my chair in shock. "Liu Ryan, what are you doing?" Her face was pale, her forehead was covered in cold sweat, and her voice was incredibly weak. "It's nothing, just low blood sugar. An old problem. Just let me rest." My mind went blank. I scrambled through my bag and pockets. The first thing I managed to pull out was half a pencil. I held it out in front of him. "Why are you giving me a pencil?" I didn't even know why myself. Then I finally reacted, and yanked open the bottom drawer of my desk. The moment the drawer opened, I wished I could slam it shut immediately. It was full of candy. Grape-flavored hard candies. Neatly stacked, filling more than half the drawer. Liu Ryan propped up his head and looked over. He stared at that drawer of candy for a long time. Stared until my back started to sweat. His voice softened. "You've been carrying this around the whole time?" I grabbed the candy and stuffed it into his hand. Stiffening my neck, I said, "I'm afraid you'll pass out next to my desk." "Bad luck." His hand unwrapping the candy paused for a moment. I hadn't even finished my stubborn talk. "I didn't know which day you'd have an episode, so I kept a bunch on hand." "Why is it grape flavor?" he suddenly asked, the candy in his mouth, eyes fixed on me. "I just like grape flavor." "It's a coincidence." I said there were no other flavors at the wholesaler. I was lying through my teeth. Even I felt guilty. The truth was, at a department dinner 6 months ago, he had mentioned offhandedly to someone, "I only eat grape-flavored candy. The others are all gross." I was standing diagonally behind him at the time, pretending to check my phone, but I didn't miss a single word. The next day, I bought 5 pounds of grape hard candy online and hid it in my drawer. I didn't even know what I was after. We were still arch-enemies back then. The candy dissolved in his mouth, and his color gradually returned to normal. The office was exceptionally quiet late at night, with only the sound of the air conditioning vent. He suddenly said softly, "Number 10, do you really hate me as much as you say?" I stared at the computer screen, not daring to look at him. The screen was showing static-like surveillance footage. "We're investigating a case." "Be serious," I said. Those were the words he had said to me in the meeting room 2 years ago. I threw them right back at him. He burst out laughing. I saw out of the corner of my eye that when he laughs, the tips of his ears turn red. I'm done for, I thought. I might actually like this arch-enemy who steals my hot water. Two people who had been at each other's throats for 2 years finally softened for the first time that night. What I didn't notice was a figure outside the glass door of the pantry. They stood there for a while, pointing their camera through the glass toward our workstations. They took out a phone and snapped a photo, then left silently. I found out later. That person was Wang Teng. The next morning, as soon as I arrived at my desk, I was called into a small meeting room by HR. I was happily thinking there was progress in the case. I even secretly wondered if they were going to commend me for cooperating with the investigation. But once I went in, the atmosphere was wrong. The HR director was sitting there, with a serious expression, and several printed pages spread out in front of him. Number 10. The HRD pushed a paper over. "There's an anonymous report, claiming you have a messy personal life and are involved in workplace harassment. It even included photos of you and Liu Ryan alone in the office last night, acting intimately. We must verify this." My mind exploded. Social death would be one thing, but if workplace harassment was proven, it wouldn't just be about embarrassment. It would be my livelihood, my permanent record, and a professional stain for the rest of my life. At that moment I realized, these handcuffs weren't just pinning down my dignity, they were pinning down my life. I gripped that photo. It was the moment I handed the candy to Liu Ryan last night, captured by someone through the pantry glass door. The angle was tricky, and it did look ambiguous. My hands were shaking. "Who is the whistleblower?" I asked. "It's anonymous." The HRD shook his head. "But you have to prove your innocence." I rushed out of the meeting room. My first instinct was to find Liu Ryan. She already knew. She stood by her desk with a grim face. Seeing me, she didn't bicker as usual. Instead, she took a step forward, shielding me from the colleagues crowding around after hearing the news. Her voice was cold and hard. "Until this is cleared up, no one touches him." I was stunned. He turned back to look at me, with something in his eyes I'd never seen before. It wasn't the competitive edge of a rival, but a protective certainty. Afterwards, he lowered his voice. "We must find out today who put these handcuffs on, because I'm more and more certain that the person who cuffed us and this report are part of the same scheme." He paused, suddenly remembering something, and his face changed. "Wait, that department dinner half a month ago. You were blacked out drunk. When someone was helping you out, what were you mumbling about?" "I was far away at the time, and didn't hear clearly. I blacked out." I was confused. How much did I drink that day? Why don't I have any recollection at all? Just then, Liu Ryan's phone rang.
The message from the customer service friend, the back-end account has been checked. He opened it and looked at it. He was frozen there. Then he turned the phone towards me. The real name authentication info of the ordering account on the screen. It clearly says Ten Hao himself. I stared at that name for a good 10 seconds. The order was for handcuffs, sent to the company, even recorded that voice message. The account is my own. No way my throat went dry. I honestly don't remember ever placing that order. I clicked, opened the order details, checked the price. Wait, that's pretty expensive, 380. Who spends 380 on handcuffs? Liu Ruyan slapped my arm. Is that the point? Then what's the point? I really don't remember buying this. I'm about to lose it. It's not like I have a sleepwalking online shopping problem. Meeting Daisy. We both recalled these earlier words at the same time. The dinner half a month ago, I blacked out from drinking and was carried out, mumbling something about order time. I opened it up. Sure enough, 11:47 that night. I definitely drank too much that night. Zhang Tao insisted I drink, saying, "Brother, this and that. It's been ages since we hung out." One round after another. Everything after, I truly don't remember a single thing. Woke up the next day in my own bed. Zhang Dao messaged me, "You slept like a dead pig last night. I carried you home. Someone must have used my phone." I said it word by word. I blacked out that night. They got my phone, even know my password, and could place an order. Liu Ruyan and I exchanged a look and spoke in unison. Zhang Dao. When I rushed to Zhang Dao's desk, he was chewing on a bun and scrolling his phone. When he saw my face, the bun dropped onto the desk with a thud. "Bro, what happened to you? Why are you so pissed?" He shrank back. Zhang Duai thrust my phone in his face. "This order was placed from my phone half a month ago at night. Was it you?" Oh, Zhang Dao's gaze went from shocked to dodgy to whatever. Let's own up. The whole process took less than 3 seconds. He sprang up from the chair and just... I chased him around the work area. We ran 3 full laps. Chunzi gave play-by-play commentary nearby. Zhang Dao starts off strong. Ten Hao hot on his heels. Watch this turn. Now as Zhang Dao is blocked by the printer, the entire marketing department stood up to watch. Liu Ruyan stood there, rubbing her forehead. Her expression said it all. How did I end up tangled with these 2 idiots? Third lap. I cornered Zhang Dao at the break room door, grabbed him by the collar, turned to the wall, asking why. Zhang Dao raised both hands in surrender, panting like a bellows. "Bro, I'll confess. I'll tell you everything, just let go first. You're gonna break my neck. I eased up a bit. That night, Zheng Dao gasped for breath. You blacked out from drinking. I was carrying you out. You kept mumbling about someone. Who was I mumbling about? Zhang Dao glanced at Lu Ruyen nearby, then looked at me. Beatus Le Pew were mumbling about Lu Ruyen. You said he cleared his throat. Imitated my drunken tone. I think I kind of like Lu Ruyen, but she hates me so much. Forget it. Whatever. The break room went completely silent. I felt every eye in the company instantly locked right onto me. My mind was left with only one thought. It's over. Then squeezing the words out between my teeth. Then Zheng Dao, looking all righteous. Bro, I'm just so disappointed in you. You've liked her for 2 years. Kept it bottled up for 2 years. Didn't even dare fart about it. You don't dare take the step. So I helped you out. I used your phone, ordered through a platform that lets you customize gift boxers. Bought those handcuffs. Specifically picked the pink gift box with the bow-tied packaging. Set it as a timed delivery. Sender marked as confidential. Scheduled it to arrive the day you guys had the all-staff meeting. I figured once the whole company knew, you guys would have no way out. Burning the boat's no retreat. Your confession dots, military tactics. What about the voice message? I yelled, where did that Lu Ruyen recording come from? She never said anything like that. Zheng Dao said, hey. He grinned and pulled out his phone from his pocket. Opened the dubbing app. That Tenhao baby bit was pre-made by me. To mimic Sister Lu's fierce yet sweet tone, I tested 8 different voices. The 8th finally sounded right. I recorded over 20 times. Once it was done, when placing the order, the platform had an upload voice message option. For the greeting card, I just stuffed that clip in there. The seller embedded it on a playback card inside the box. It automatically plays when opened. No one the wiser. I kept gripping his collar, frozen for a full 3 seconds. I searched for a half a month for the culprit. The culprit was drunk, sitting right across from me that night. And the culprit was my own mouth. Zheng Dao took a deep breath. You call this burning the boats. You sank my whole ship. You call this help. Bro Zhang Tao stiffened his neck. Ref, this isn't a foul, right? I was about ready to beat him up for real. Suddenly, Lu Ruyun spoke up. Hold on, she frowned. Her investigator's energy came back. Zhang Dao, you just wanted to force Tenhao to confess, right? You tied the handcuffs and recorded the voice message as a prank, right? Zheng Tao nodded. So what about the anonymous letter? Lu Ruyen pronounced anonymous report accusing Tenhao of workplace harassment. That anonymous letter with our photos attached, was it from you? Zheng Dao looked dumbfounded. What anonymous report? I just sent the handcuffs. How would I know anything about an anonymous report? If I really wanted to mess him up, would I turn myself in to... Lu Ruyen looked at me. Her eyes turned cold. Like I said, the handcuffs were just a prank. The report was sent to wreck your career. There's 2 groups. Second group actually wants to ruin you. She turned and walked right to HR's office. I followed. That photo was taken last night. She spoke while walking. Whoever was outside the break room at that time and knew to leverage it. The one who tipped HR? What's their motive? We both stopped walking at the same time. Promotion slots. Wong Ting, what happened next was Li Ruyan leading our investigation. That e-commerce backing line, his customer service friend had already helped us check. The ordering account was renamed as Tenhao, but that line ended at Jiang Dao. But the whistleblower letter went through the company's internal email. That's a different system. Friends won't be able to reach it. It had to go through the tech department. The two of us took the evidence to the tech team, even though the whistleblower letter went through an anonymous channel. The internal IP address couldn't be hidden. The tech department found the IP in a single record, which pointed directly to Wong Teng's desk. The computer sent it at 8:05 this morning, and that ambiguous photo, the tech department took a look. The photo's original metadata showed it was taken at 10:31 last night. They checked the tea room camera footage. At that time, Wong Teng did come back to the office. He stood outside the tea room door, behind the glass, for a while. But here's the craziest part. The tech department thoroughly checked the photo's metadata and discovered Wong Teng in order to make the whistleblower letter look like solid evidence found earlier. Manually changed the photo's time. He wanted to fake that he'd been monitoring for a while, but he messed up the editing. The source data contradicted itself. It didn't match up. We organized the whole chain of evidence and handed it straight to HRD and directory. That afternoon, the whole company was called to the large conference room again. This time, the one standing in the middle, pale-faced, was me. It was Wong Teng. HRD laid out each piece of evidence, falsifying whistleblower materials, altering photo timestamps, fabricating workplace harassment by colleagues, intent to influence promotion reviews. Do you have anything to say? Wong Teng still tried to defend himself. That's just my normal reaction to the situation. Director, he spoke slowly. Normal reactions don't require changing time. Wong Teng was speechless. I walked up to him. For 2 years, he stole my credit, tripped me up, gossiped behind my back. I put up with it. But this time, he tried to ruin my future. Even dragged Liu Ruan down with him. I patted his shoulder and returned the words he told me that day. Brother Wong, the innocent will clear their name. Wong Teng's face was even paler than when I removed the handcuffs that day. The conference room erupted into laughter that had been held back for ages. The next day, Wong Teng was formally disciplined. The news of his transfer out of the marketing department spread throughout all the company groups. Reverse move out of the game. I felt a sense of satisfaction like never before. But the story wasn't over yet, because the biggest twist was still to come. After dealing with Wong Teng, most people left the conference room. Only me and Lu Ruzhen remained. Plus, Zheng Tao huddled in the corner, afraid to move. I turned to Liu Ruyan. I held back for a while. Before blurting out, Zheng Tao was just messing around for me. That voice recording was fake. I was drunk and talking nonsense. Don't take it to heart. He interrupted me just then. I shut up and he stood there, his face slowly turning red, but his eyes were very serious. That seriousness made my heart skip a beat. There's something I want to be clear with you. He took a deep breath. I didn't suddenly start liking you. I was stunned back, then I took the fall for you. Stayed up overnight helping you recalculate the data. His voice was very soft, but I heard every word perfectly. It's because I already liked you at that time. A new hire? Working on a proposal until midnight. Still insisting at her workstation. So stubborn it drove me crazy. Watching you, I just couldn't let go. The way you refused Chunzi with that snarky attitude. And always competed with me for hot water because you're stubborn. He gave me a glare. His eyes turning a little red. I'm talking about you. You blockhead. You're the only person in the whole company who fights me for hot water. I opened my mouth, but couldn't say a single word these past 2 weeks. His voice continued trembling a bit. I noticed you've changed. Your eyes look at me differently. Those 5 pounds of grape-flavored candy in your drawer. I saw them all. I've been waiting for you to make the first move. Waited 2 weeks. He sniffed, and that stubborn persona returned. I was about to give up, but then you showed up with a pair of leopard print handcuffs. I just stood there, my mind totally blown. Blown because I had spent 2 weeks searching for genuine feelings. Turns out, 2 weeks ago, I drunkenly confessed to myself, he'd hidden his feelings for 2 years. And those absurd handcuffs, suddenly made everything public. Two stubborn people took a long roundabout route, hating each other for 2 years, avoiding each other for 2 years, only to find out the other person was all they'd ever thought about. Jang Dao was so moved in the corner, he wiped his tears with his sleeve. See, I told you. I was so determined, I stayed quiet. Me and Lu Ruzhen said it at the same time. Jiang Tao retreated back into the corner. I didn't rush to speak. I bent down at the table, picked up the culprit, wrapped in a tissue, the leopard print handcuffs in the conference room. The remaining colleagues perked up instantly, all crowded over to watch. Chunzi excitedly raised his phone to record video. I held the handcuffs and walked over to Louis. He thought I was going to handcuff him. Instinctively stepped back a bit, glared at me like number 10. What are you doing? I hadn't handcuffed him in front of the dozens of colleagues left in the company. With a click, I cuffed one side to my own wrist. Then I handed the other end to him. The conference room exploded. I watched him, my voice a little hoarse after those 2 years. But I didn't avoid his gaze. I was blind. I hated the wrong person. Wasted 2 years for nothing. I owe you an apology and an explanation. Jiang Tao tried to help me block my retreat. I pushed the cold handcuffs closer to him, moved them toward his hand. He didn't have to block my retreat. I'll block it myself. Lu Ruzhen looked at the handcuffs. Then, me. His eyes suddenly turning red all over. Tears welled up, but he didn't let them fall. He reached out his hand. I was so excited my hand shook, and the handcuffs missed, clattered to the floor. Another round of laughter broke out. Chunzi shouted from behind, "Number 10, can you do it or not?" I squatted down to pick up the handcuffs. Liu Ruyan squatted down too to help pick them up. Our heads nearly collided. He looked up at me and broke into tears and laughter. Those reddened eyes were shining bright. In that moment, I stared at him for 5, maybe 10 seconds. Didn't time it, so I'm not sure. Anyway, long enough that Chunzi shouted beside us, "Kiss, kiss, kiss." 3 times before I snapped out of it. This time, the handcuffs closed securely. One side on my wrist, the other on his. That famous workplace archenemy couple everyone knew was finally happening for real. The night we officially got together, Jiang Dao tagged everyone in the company group chat. Meijo Gidinos. Congrats to number 10 for winning Liu Ryan. This matchmaker played a huge role, mastermind behind the scenes, making bold moves. Remember to give me a double share of the wedding money. Hundreds of replies poured in instantly. Chunzi was the first to speak up. I have a live video, 9.9 yuan per share. Fair to both old and young. Director, he rarely shows up in the group chat. Meeting adjourned. We still have work tomorrow. CSM Jiang Dao added another message. By the way, I sponsored those handcuffs. Remember to return them after use. Never mind, you can keep them. I'll just buy another pair. Everyone burst out laughing in the group. I shoved my phone into my pocket, turned to look at Lu Ryan by my side. He was lowering his head, peeling a grape-flavored candy. He didn't eat it himself after peeling it. He put it in my mouth. It's your reward. He said, the case solving was pretty bad, but your confession was okay. I held that candy in my mouth. The sweetness was almost overwhelming. Liu Ryan? I said. Yeah, I said it before. The thing I regret the most in my life is opening that pink package at the all-staff meeting. He looked up at me, smiling eyes. Now, I take it back. I looked at him seriously and said, this is the thing I regret least in my life. His ears turned red again. I stared at him for 5 seconds. This time, I didn't look away. Lu Ryan asked. I started liking number 10. From one late night. Back then, he just started the job. Pulled 3 all-nighters for his first proposal. The night before the review meeting, I was working late, passed by his desk, saw he was still there, eyes red, staring fiercely at the screen, muttering to himself, "This data model is definitely wrong." Later, director, he sent me that email. That's when I found out his proposal had a major error on the third page. If it got submitted, he'd be disciplined. Newbie just got regularized and then disciplined. Basically, his career would be over. That night, I didn't hesitate much. I replied to director, he put my name on it. Let me take the blame. Then I stayed up all night to recalculate all his data. Redid the whole thing. Worked until 4 a.m. What was I doing it for? For his stubbornness about what's right. For his unwillingness to let go of wrong data. For that silhouette working all night. That's when I first felt something. But the next day, after the name change, the way he looked at me changed. He thought I stole his proposal. He started hating me. I didn't explain. Explain what? Anyway. Say I like you. So I took the blame for you. That would be embarrassing. Besides, with his hot temper, if I told him, he'd go confront director, and still end up being disciplined. So I let him hate me. I thought liking someone doesn't always mean you have to let them know. So we became sworn rivals. He steals my hot water. I cut in his line. He turns on the big faucet to annoy me. I hide his favorite cup. The whole company laughs at us. Only I know every time we argue, my heartbeat raises. One rejected Chunzi. That day, he asked who I liked. I didn't say a name. Only said he has a terrible temper, and he always fights me for hot water. I regretted it right after saying that. Those are pretty obvious clues. Number 10 is the only one in the company who competes for hot water with me. Luckily, number 10, that blockhead, heard it and didn't think it was about himself. I was annoyed, but also amused. I remember one time at a department dinner, I casually said I only eat grape-flavored candy. Number 10 was standing behind me at an angle, pretending to look at his phone. I saw out of the corner of my eye that his phone screen was totally black. He wasn't actually checking his phone. He was listening. The next day, by accident, I spotted the bottom drawer of his desk, packed with a whole bag of grape hard candies. That day, I hid in the bathroom stall, covering my mouth, laughing for a long time. Idiot. So that night, working late, when my low blood sugar hit, it wasn't that bad, really, but I kind of wanted to see how he'd react. He nervously handed me half a pencil first. I was weak then. Almost laughed at him. Then he suddenly opened that drawer. It was full of grape candies. He stiffly said, "In case you scratched up my workspace, bad luck." That hardened part of my heart, ready for battle for 2 years, just melted with an. I asked, "Why grape flavor?" He said, "Pure coincidence. There were no other flavors when buying in bulk." Blatantly lying, but I didn't want to expose him at all. That half month, I noticed he changed. The way he looked at me was different. He'd protect me without realizing it. The candies in the drawer were replaced with new ones. I had secretly eaten most of the last bag. He actually refilled it again. I kept waiting for him to make the first move. Me, someone so competitive, for once wanted him to initiate. I waited half a month. Almost gave up waiting. Thought this blockhead would never get it. But then a pair of leopard print handcuffs appeared and some ridiculously fake synthesized audio. The whole company exploded. That day, my face turned pale faster than his. My first thought wasn't shame. It was, oh no, now he'll avoid me even more. But he didn't. He kept investigating and found that email. He realized I didn't steal his proposal back then. I took the hit for him. He messaged me on WeChat Why didn't you tell me back then? I replied, because I wanted to. After sending those words, I stared at my phone. My face burned up. Number 10. Oh, number 10. Why don't you get it yet? At last, right in front of the whole company. He didn't cuff me with those handcuffs. He cuffed himself. He said, I'll block my own way out. Achi, that moment, I almost burst into tears. 2 years of secret feelings. 2 years of bottled up frustration, all exposed with that stubborn donkey's words. When I reached out, he was so excited his hand trembled. The handcuffs clanged to the ground. Everyone in the company laughed. I laughed so hard, I had tears in my eyes. Both of us squatting, picking up the handcuffs together. He looked up at me, stared at me for a long time. I knew he was looking at my ears. He probably noticed long ago. Whenever I smile, my ears turn red. Grape-flavored candy is my secret signal. That stubborn donkey is my person. After 2 years of circles, 2 years of hate, 2 years of dodging, we finally cuffed each other together. I actually kept those handcuffs later on, hung them on the key hook by my front door. Every time I see them coming home, I think of that idiot. My idiot.